through, huh?
Hey, John, take it easy. You might want to fight Bucky before you tangle with the Dora Milaje.
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
We should do something.
Looking strong, John.
Bucky? Kyle.
All right, let's talk about this.
Welcome back, everyone, to Tully Television. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank everyone who's been stopping by, for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. Thank you guys very, very much. It means the world to me, as always, because if it's not for you guys tuning in, I don't care if it's 32 people or 32,000 people, you're making your way to me, and I appreciate that, and I'm glad and feel proud that you come to me for some sort of entertainment purposes, even if you think I'm just a goofball on an overall basis, which I am. Today, though, we're going to be talking Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4 out of 6. 2 more episodes to go after this one. The next episode is going to be the big cameo episode for someone coming to the show. Ever since WandaVision, I've laid back on my theories and thoughts about that stuff. So we'll see who it is. It would be nice to see Old Man Cap, but you know, I don't know who else it could be, but we'll see. But yeah, let's get into it. Episode 4 starts off with the flashback to Wakanda 6 years ago. Bucky was with, you know, the Dora Milaje member. They were going to practice doing the hypnotic phrases for him to be triggered to become the Winter Soldier and be able to control him. And the concern was, well, what if it's successful? She says, well, that's why we're out here instead of near a city or a town, you know, in case, you know, things get a little iffy, you know. So she starts saying the words, and you see a lot of flashbacks of Bucky as the Winter Soldier, doing his missions, fighting Steve, and you can kind of see the emotional toll it is, because he does remember these things that he done, but to not be able to be in control of your body, and then still having to do these things, it's a pretty big mental toll. I'm glad how WandaVision and this show do deal with mental health issues and what happens when you don't have a consistent base for it, or if not practicing what it is that you're trying to change, you'll never be able to change. So I'm kind of liking how they do at least that connection. I know it's 2 different shows and stuff, but they did pick 2 excellent characters to be able to portray different types of mental illness and depression, and how post-traumatic stress disorder affects people, which originally started off as just saying shell-shocked, but they upgraded the terminology of that because it's not always wartime veterans that deal with that type of diagnosis, but and so she finally says the last words, and he's just sitting there crying, and he looks up at her, and she says, "You're free, you're free." And he's crying and crying, and I really love this scene by Sebastian Stan. I think again, this series has a lot of emotional scenes in it throughout the series. I don't know who had a bigger emotional scene, Bucky or Isaiah Bradley. I have, empathy and sympathy for both those characters. I think Isaiah Bradley did get a raw deal too. They both got a raw deal, put it that way. But then we pick up all this time later to when they met in the last episode in the alley, and he's trying to explain to her that he's just a means to an end. Give him time, because she wants him handed over to Wakanda for his crimes against the king. She explains that the king at the time specifically chose her to come, and the rest of the troops, so to speak, the bodyguards, stayed at Wakanda, because initially it was just meant to be like as a peace talks type of accord, or like the Sokovia papers that they were trying to. It was meant to be just a peaceful gathering, and when Baron Zemo blew it up, trying to blame Bucky for that, there was a lot of chaos that ensued for that, and either way, they never got their due justice, so to speak, their day in court, however they may want to handle that in Wakanda. And I would have liked to see if the timing was better. I think Chadwick Boseman may have still been alive when filming was going on, but I could be wrong about that too, so I don't want to necessarily say either way. But I would have, in a perfect world, I would have loved to see Chadwick Boseman coming in and doing this part. Because there was so much that Wakanda has done for Bucky, and for Bucky to kind of sit there and be like, yeah, listen, I know you kind of saved my mental health, and you really did, but can't kind of do this for you right now. Listen, I know you gave me the $50 million as a gift, but at this, I can't give you this gallon of milk right at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally understandable why Wakanda's asking for him. If it wasn't for this mission, I think Bucky in any other circumstance would have, but I think that being they were so deep in this mission already and feeling so close to seeing an outcome, I think it was just like, I hope you trust me, but not yet. She gives him an 8-hour window. He comes back in and he kind of starts making reference like, listen, I tried my best, but you better be ready because they're going to be coming soon back for you, Zemo. And Sam and Zemo were talking about Carly and from the Flag Smashers, and Sam kind of sees her point with a lot of things. He also did want to destroy the shield just as much as she does now. Yeah, so they have this idea that it's the shield that's the problem, and it's not. It is, but it's not, because you destroy the shield, there's still going to be. There's just going to be a new shield, or it's a new thing made, and it's the premise behind it that is the problem, not the actual object. You know what I mean? So, and then Zemo I think, had asked Sam at some point in the show, would you have taken the super soldier serum? And he said no. And Zemo was impressed with his answer of rejecting it. Usually the people who don't want power should be the ones with the power. But if that makes sense. As kind of a measuring stick in a way. But they decide to find out where the funeral is for Carly and the other people that like their mother, their foster mother, adoptive mother. At her funeral, they figured that she was going to be there, so they Zemo tricked some children with a candy called Turkish Delight, and he was able to find out where the funeral was. I think he also gave her like 500 pounds or something, or 500 Deutschmarks or something to finish bringing him to the site. They hand cut. In the meantime, they come across Captain and Battlestar. Okay, and John is like really up for, like, he woke up that day and was ready to go to town to get to where Carly's at and the Flag Smashers. And Sam was like, listen, with my past as a traumatic counselor, I know how to talk people down. I got this, I can talk her down, and maybe we can figure out how to start negotiating something with her, even if it's for the short term. Everyone agrees, for the most part. Even Battlestar's like, yeah, give him a chance, He does, get some sense into Carly, with some wordplay with her, and for her to admit something, and then she's like, oh, you kind of tricked me into saying that, but she also had a thing of, I understand what you're saying, because Zemo was calling her supremacist. And anything that you're trying to do to build what you think is the supreme being, you're being a supremacist under his logic, so to speak. And part of that makes sense, in a way, with how the propaganda of how you think a Superman, a top-powered person is supposed to behave and look like. So I get that concept. But John Walker couldn't hold it in anymore, and he came in and he was like, everyone's under arrest. It starts a big confrontation that, before that confrontation too, I'll talk about this one first and then I'll talk about the other battle that happened. They start battling and they get separated, all of them. You see Zemo able to get out of his handcuffs. So everyone's everywhere trying to find Carly and the rest of Flag Smashers and the Super Soldier Serum. And Zemo comes across Carly and shoots her, which causes her to tip over the table with the serum. And he smashes everyone but one. And in the meantime, before he was able to destroy the last one, John Walker comes and flings his sword in his face and knocks him the hell out. In the meantime, Carly takes off with her friend and ally, and John Walker sees the last Super Soldier Serum off in the distance on the floor, picks it up, puts it in his pocket as Battlestar, Bucky, and Falcon come back to the area that he was in. They then try to regroup back at the Latvia house that Zemo has, and then the Dormilaje show up, and John Walker treats them totally disrespectfully, bro. He's like, listen, just put your little pointy sticks aside, and like he kind of like holds her like, hey, young lady, why don't you go back and make us a sandwich type of behavior. He's getting really like ballsy, this John Walker, and that pretty much sets it off because he's saying that you don't have jurisdiction. She's like, wherever we are, we got jurisdiction. Like we good, bro. We got the OG papers, bro. Like, yeah, we got the right to kill, basically. Like, hello, we're not getting extradited. So, I mean, and we're not getting extradited out of Wakanda. And if you catch us here, they're making sure we're going back to Wakanda. So, they fight and they whip John Walker's ass. And everyone else was able to kind of hold their own against them. Battlestar even too. But, yeah, John Walker got his ass whipped, and he's like, man, they weren't even super soldiers. Like, after, you know, he got his ass whipped, they finally find out the final location of where Carly and for Nico are at, because they, you know, Nico throughout the episode was saying how much he was a fan of Captain America, and because his father was an Italian resistance fighter in the World War II. That's when she was saying how the symbol needs to be destroyed. Again, confrontation boils down. At some point, Battlestar gets tied up and he's able to escape with cutting the ropes that he was tied up with, that he had hidden in his like little belt or whatever. Sam and Falcon are trying to do what they can. Finally, Captain America comes across Nico, and he jumps out this third floor window, because at this point Carly and Nico are outside, and he's able to jump out the window, and throughout this whole fight you see him bending a bar, you see him throwing his shield and it's getting stuck. You're kind of assuming that he's doing all these body twitching things, like he's like getting jacked off of the super soldier serum that he just took. He took it, but we don't visually see him take it, but he takes it. And because John Walker can't, even me at the peak of perfection won't be able to like that to that degree. I don't think so anyway, not the way he did. And Falcon is realizing he must have taken a serum, and finally what happens is Carly is about to attack John, and Battlestar gets in the way. He gets, basically his whole chest gets kind of caved in with a punch from Carly. He goes flying, gets his back crushed against the pillar, and dies. Rest in peace, Battlestar. What a way to go, bro. You were the only logical side of that team, bro. You're a good guy. Rest in peace, Battlestar. Jeez Louise. Oof. What a way to go. That's what made finally John Walker go off the deep end, and he jumped out the window, chased down Nico, and basically decapitated him with the shield. And there's this group of people outside that basically recording what's happening, and then the last scene is an angle up on him and the shield, and then on the bottom of the shield is a bloody mess. And Carly comes back and looks in shock. Bucky and Falcon are looking in shock. No one knows what to do, and especially with this is gonna get out. There's too many people that's seen this, and you can always spin it and turn it, but yeah, this is gonna be a big thing that goes from here on out. And at some point during the episode, Sharon Carter was shown. She helped Falcon figure out to let him know when John was coming to that final destination. She did. But yeah, it ended pretty with a fatality. Captain America fatality, bro. I heard someone call him Decapitation America. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. We got 2 more episodes left after this one. The next one is supposed to be an awesome cameo episode, so we'll see about that. But thank you for stopping by, guys, though. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And until next time, peace, Snookums.